Hello, and welcome to episode number 193 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Friday Night SmackDown for week 1 of November 2021, and the road to Survivor Series continues. We started it on Raw with a big NXT assault to end the show, and this week, well not this week, but tonight we're going to be seeing the Blue Brand cement their path to the big show. Let's see if any Raw or SmackDown or Raw or NXT people are going to join in. We already know the main event will feature Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch with Kaylee Ray and Nikki Cross against Indy, Dana and Mickey. But what else will go down? Who knows on the build to Survivor Series? Literally anything could happen. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We start off with the Tribal Chief and WWE Champion Roman Reigns making his way to the ring. And he's like, so, as you saw, Cesaro was the one that you all chose to step onto the All-Under relevancy last Sunday at Cyber Sunday, and I smashed him and I put him down. But it appears that Cesaro isn't the only one who wanted to rub shoulders with the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, and sort of swim on the All-Under relevancy for one night, and that was Finn Balor. Finn Balor, the World Heavyweight Champion from Raw, seems to think he's got what it takes to beat me at Survivor Series. And it's a bit of a joke, because Balor was so lost over on Raw last time that he had to go back down to NXT to find himself. But I guess Finn's still harping on that one victory he got on me on his first night here on Raw, when he was first called up 5 years ago. But let me tell you something, Finn, you're a different man to then, and I'm a very different man to then. That Roman Reigns, he wasn't the head of the table, he wasn't the Tribal Chief. This Roman Reigns, he's ready to smash you and add you to the collection of bodies that he's destroyed over the last few months. And if you've got anything to say differently to that one, you know where I am. All your Raw superstars are here tonight. Let's kick Survivor Series off early. And then unfamiliar music that we don't recognise. Well, some people might if they watch my version of NXT, which doesn't exist in kayfabe or in the series. But out comes Ronnie Hughes, who is he's an ex-footballer who came in from the dojo like last year. I think I've tried him out on Raw once or twice. And the reason why I pick him specifically to try out on Raw is because he came in with like 60 popularity because he was obviously a known name in the NFL of this world. And as such, he is the NXT champion. And he comes out, he's like, Roman, I'm not Finn Balor. And Roman's like, you're damn fucking right, you're not Finn Balor, who the hell are you? He's like, okay, right. Should have seen that one coming. My name is Ronnie Hughes. And he holds up, he's like, and I'm the NXT champion. He's like, huh, okay kid, what are you doing here? It's like, you know, you're talking an awful lot about Finn Balor and the island of relevancy and how you and Finn Balor, you're going to smash Finn Balor at the pay-per-view. But you appear to be forgetting someone. Someone who you're unfamiliar with. Someone who you've never faced before. Someone who, quite frankly, you're going to be unprepared for. And that's the NXT champion, Ronnie Hughes. And Roman's like, okay, look, you seem like a nice kid, but we're the adults here. We let the adults talk, and you go back onto your little, whatever, what's going on in that show anymore? Is it still black and gold, or is it rainbow multicolored? What's going on over there? It's like, huh, I see, Roman, you see, but 2 years ago, NXT won Survivor Series, and I'm the top of this brand now. I'm the current NXT champion, so everything for this brand going forward goes through me. It goes through Tommaso Ciampa. It goes through Emma, the NXT Women's Champion. It goes through all of us. And quite frankly, I know you're overlooking me because you don't know me. And not a lot of these people do either. But I'll tell you something, Roman, there's nothing more dangerous than a man who's got nothing to lose. There's no scenario come this triple threat match at Survivor Series where I come out worse off than I came in. Because I get to show the world what I'm capable of. You, however, Mr. Tribal Chief, what would happen if you were to lose to a rookie? What would happen if you were to get shown up by the developmental champion? By somebody who not a lot of people know and who, quite frankly, was told once he arrived here in WWE that he was just another ex-footballer. You've been there. And he's got everything to gain, because if he cements himself with a victory at Survivor Series, Roman, they're never going to forget the name Ronnie Hughes. So you keep talking the top talk, because at the end of the day, if you're as tough as you say you are and you can't be beaten because you're the big bad tribal chief, I don't have to beat you. I can beat Finn Balor. And there's nothing you can do about that. And then Ronnie Hughes walks away and Roman's like, oh, who's this kid? Think he's coming to embarrass the tribal chief. He's not happy. But he lets him, he goes, Heyman's like, you can go get him, my tribal chief. It's like he's trying to send Jimmy Uso up there, and Roman just sort of stops. He's like, no, let the kid have his moment. Because I'm going to smash him to 64. These fucking psychologies are so shit. In a qualifying match for Team SmackDown's women's team, Sonya Deville defeats Selena in a rematch from Cyber Sunday in 7 minutes 17 seconds of a submission to submit her as the first member of SmackDown's women's team. She gets a 73 and a 70 for Zelina Vega, which is nice, I guess. 64 because of the lack of psychology, but whatever. Sonya's on the team. Here's a segment. Pierce is in his office. He's like, I know. Star Series is going to be huge. Ronnie Hughes is here. He cemented himself in a big way. NXT's on the map. They're here to play. And he hears he's like, come in. And then this goofy motherfucker in the middle walks in with the 2 SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the shoulder. And he's like, Pierce like, let me call you back. And he puts his phone down. And he's like, questions? Right. Number 1, who are you? Number 2, why are you here? Number 3, why you have my tag team championships? It's like, hey, Adam Pearce, I'm RJ City. It's like, okay. He's like, you may recognize me from my stint on WWE's The Bump, his successful YouTube show. Don't know if you ever heard of it. It's like, of course, I've been on there, yes. It's like, 2, why am I here? Well, I'm your new assistant to the general manager. And Pearce is like, what? This is news to me. It's like, well, you see, even Shane, there's 2 of them, 2 minds conspiring for Team Raw to try and beat Team SmackDown. Maybe you need another head to help you concoct the greatest teams available. Pierce's like, I don't think I do, but who have you spoken to get you this job? He's like, Triple H. And Pierce's like, oh, what the fuck. And third of all, you may have noticed these 2 shiny little babies around my shoulder. Pierce's like, yes, I did. That's why I asked you. Why have you got them? He's like, well, Damian Priest has broken his ankle, and he cannot defend these SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Pierce's like, well, that fucking sucks. They won them off the Usos, then the Usos can't get injured, and now Priest is injured. What are we going to do? And RJ's like, well, I'm 1 step ahead of you, Pierce. He's like, we have to crown SmackDown Tag Team Championships ahead of Survivor Series, because they need to face both the Cyclone from Raw and the Grizzled Young Veterans from NXT, the NXT Tag Team Champions. So we could have had to get that done tonight. I was thinking a tournament originally, but we can't. We've got to get them crowned tonight. And Pierce is like, okay. And he's like, well, what better way to cement the RJ City assistant era than have a good old fatal 4-way tag team match? And Pierce is like, okay, do you have the teams in mind? It's like, Street Profits. He's like, Viking Raiders. He's like, Mansoor and Dio Madden. And then Bivens walks in like, well, Pierce. Look how the tables have turned. You see, you could have still had me as your great assistant to the general manager. But instead, you've got this. And he's like, how dare you speak to RJ City that way? And Pierce's like, you're a pair of idiots. We need a fourth team for this fatal four-way tag team match to crown the new champions. And Pierce's like, whoa. I've got a solution here, Adam. If you still have the most slightest modicum of respect for me. How about two of my guys could be the fourth team in that match? So AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, or Omos. And RJ's like, I like this guy. We should have him as our assistant too. And Pierce is like, we've done that. I don't even know why he's still here, but whatever. Two of Bivens Enterprises can be in this tag team match. And Bivens like, he's excellent. I look forward to it, Adam. Have fun with your new stooge. And then RJ just gives Pierce a big shit-eating grin, and he's like, oh. So I felt like I needed an assistant to SmackDown, because Shane and Eve are a duo on Raw, and good old RJ City. I got told to bring him in, and if I will shut Emily up for about 2 minutes, he's here. He's being a goofy assistant to the... He won't wrestle or step out of line or try and usurp Pierce or anything. He will just be a goofy dickhead. Bruh. In the match of the series, to determine the first member of Team SmackDown's men's team, Cesaro defeats Andrade and Elias in 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Cesaro pins Elias. 85 for Cesaro, 94 for Andrade, and 78 for Elias. Boy, the random feud generator has been really nice to me this month, because it gave me LA Knight and Oney, and now it gave me Cesaro and Andrade. And based on this match, yeah, they should do alright. I think these might be the two best wrestlers in the world. Backstage segment with Buddy Murphy and Kayla. She's like, ladies and gentlemen, Buddy Murphy. And she's like, well, after the news we heard earlier on, you and Damian Priest got injured and you're no longer the SmackDown Tag Team Champion, so what's next for Buddy Murphy? And he's like, well, first and foremost, Priest, hope your ankle heals up soon. You're a good dude, and I want to see you back in the ring doing what you can, but second of all, Kill, I've got a bone to pick. And that bone to pick is not with Damian Priest, it's with Roman Reigns. Because I know the WWE Universe, they get the choice. Their voices were heard at Cyber Sunday, and they voted for Cesaro, and believe me, I'd have probably voted for Cesaro as well if I wasn't myself and didn't want myself to get the title match. Cesaro, he deserves it more than anyone in the world, but Roman Reigns is ducking me. And with Survivor Series being this month, he can't go the 30 days without defending because he's in the triple threat match with Ronnie and Finn at the pay-per-view. So how about this, Roman? Next week, me and you for that WWE Championship on SmackDown. And then I forgot to put him on camera. But then Big E walks in. And he's like, buddy. Nice to see you jumping the line here because me and Tegan, we won the Mixed Match Challenge. And that entitled me to a WWE Championship opportunity. And I could use that whenever I want. Hell, I could use that if you beat Roman Reigns next week. I could use it then. And I could face you and beat you for the WWE Championship. And that's how that would feel like when you cashed in on Drew McIntyre last year. And Buddy's like, well, E, it appears that we both have similar goals here, and believe me, I would love to beat Roman next week and give you your shot against me. When I go on to defeat Finn Balor and Ronnie Hughes, and then defeat you and show the world that I'm no longer the best kept secret. I am the here and the now of SmackDown. Buddy Bloody Murphy. Chauncey and Ember, quick backstage segment. Just them glossing up their tank, and they're like, Survivor Series is the one night a year Raw, SmackDown, NXT. It's going to be awesome, and Survivor Series with tanks is going to be even cooler, Ember, but we have to defend our titles against a team from Raw and a team from NXT on that show. And we got friends from Raw River tonight. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott won a tag team title shot next time. God, we'll give them that. But let's go get Fire and Ballsy and shit. So yes, the women's tag team titles will be on the line. There'll be these two from SmackDown against an NXT women's tag team and a Raw women's tag team. 73, 7:45. Bianca defeats Goddess Alexa again with the KOD. The Alexa Bliss vote was A, to see like what people wanted Bianca to, who Bianca wanted to wrestle, and B, it was more so an experiment long term, because I needed either a babyface or a heel, really, and that's why I did the thing I did, like, to see who people would vote for which version of Alexa to keep. I sort of expected Spooky Bliss to win, or Sparkle Bliss, which is why I had them with the options. And it wasn't going to be like full-time Glitter Bliss, because that would have been silly. But the reason I did the whole reset thing with her and Alistair at SummerSlam is so I could bring her back, sort of like... Multifarious Miss Bliss was only going to be a short-term thing, because like I don't think that has much legs long-term. So it was sort of like to feel out which version of Alexa felt right to have her as going forward. And I think I might just keep her as Evil Goddess Bliss, because she won the vote. And yeah, unless of course people in the comments really want to see another version of Alexa. But if Glitter Bliss would have won, she wouldn't have been Glitter Bliss all the time. She would have been like 2020 before she got possessed, like just normal babyface Alexa Bliss, like she was in 2016 challenge run. But Goddess Bliss won, which means that's clearly the version of Alexa that people like the most, so I guess I'll keep her like that. And yeah, Bianca's on the team at the expense of Alexa. Backstage segment. Zelina and Andrade aren't happy because neither of them qualified for the team. Like, you know, this is a joke. Maybe me and Andrade, we're strong together, but we lost Escobar and Swerve, and now they're doing things with Finn Balor over on Raw, but maybe just us two isn't the way to go. Maybe we do need to kick this Mafia back up again. And Andrade's like, well, I would have got in if it wasn't for fucking Cesaro. You pinned Elias, not me. And Cesaro's like, whoa, buddy. It's not my fault you couldn't get the job done. And Andrade's like, fuck off, bitch. Smacks him. And then Cesaro tries to attack Andrade again, but Zelina gets in front of him like, whoa, we don't want to do this, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this here. And then she takes Andrade away. But he just antagonized Cesaro because Cesaro got in instead of him. Whoa, 81! Ember and Shotzi defeat Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott of the Mosh Pit. In 8 minutes, Shotzi pins Ruby with a Fright Night to make defense number 3 of the women's tag team titles. 70 for Shotzi, 74 for Ember, 70 for Ruby, and a 67 for Liv. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself, with an 81. Incredible stuff. Bro, Drew Gulak is a monster. In an 88 rated segment, Gulak comes out and he says, well, me and Tyler Breeze sure did have a chinwag on Raw, and it'll be Survivor Series time, but I prefer not to wait. I don't want to coast and get to Survivor Series there without earning it, so I'm going to keep up the US Open challenges against whoever wants to face me. And then out comes NXT North American champion Ari Sterling, and he's like, Drew, listen here. I'm not here to accept your little cutesy-dootsy open challenge. I'm just here to warn you. Because why would I want your championship when I've got mine? Because a lot of people, like Ronnie said at the start of the show, and Tommaso and his boys said at the end of Raw, a lot of people are sleeping on NXT. Didn't even really get a mention much of Raw. But remember, we did win last time. And you're looking at the man, Gulak, who's going to put you, and you can tell Breeze this if you have another lovely little chin wag on Raw next week without me, that I'm the North American champion, I'm going to win this triple threat match at Survivor Series. And Gulak's like, well, Ari, me and you, I've been an admirer of yours for a while, and it's sure going to be an honour to face off against you at Survivor Series. And good luck. And he offers the handshake out. And then, of course, Sterling takes the handshake, but boom, pulls him in, drops him with like a headbutt or a kick or something, and then hits his finisher and leaves Drew Gulak laying as he looks down at the US title on the floor and he holds the North American Championship up in the sky. Bivens cuts a promo with the Profits, Mansoor and Diamadin, and the Vikings in the ring. He's like, well, this shall not continue until the fourth team has ended this match. Representing Bivens Enterprises, your next SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the phenomenal AJ Styles and his personal colossus, Omos. And then AJ and Omos, they make their way out. Boom. They're the fourth team in this Tag Team Championship match. And somehow, we get a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match without an injury. But of course, we do have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. AJ Styles and Omos. It's not elimination, ignore the game. Omos pins probably Mansoor, so we can give him that babyface hope spot, and like the crowd can get fired up before Omos puts him down with the big double-handed chokeslam to win the SmackDown Tag Team Champions for him and AJ and Bivens Enterprises. At ringside, we did have Bronson Reed and Ricochet just chilling, watching. Grizzled Young Veterans, who are the NXT Tag Team Champions, nowhere to be seen, but that will be the triple threat match at the pay-per-view. And it will be the Cyclone against the Grizzled Young Vets against the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles and Omos of Bivens Enterprises. 65 for Omos, 85 for AJ, 72 for Angelo, 80 for Montez Ford, 46 for Mansoor, 63 for Dio, 75 for Eric, and a 73 for Ivar. R-Truth's getting on the plane for 24/7 Island. He's going, my baby, I'm going to keep my baby and we're going to become the Universal Champion. He takes the seat, next to Dexter, of course. And then Charlie Ryland, Danger Zone, is driving the plane. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are on our way to 24/7 Island. May the chaos begin. And Truth's like, wait, what, begin? And then all the people you see on your screen, Elias, who's got there pretty sharpish after losing that triple threat match. Graham Leak, Lince Dorado, Eichmann Giro stands in the aisleway, rips his jacket open. He's like, to distract Truth. Robert Stone pins Truth on the plane and like hides away so he can't get pinned. This is going to be a long month, people. And who will walk away from 24/7 Island as the 24/7 champion and earn a shot at the Midcard Championship? Here we go. The beginning of a new era here. The first of many, many, many segments like this. Shotzi and Ember are coming from the back. They're going back to their locker after their big win. Like, yeah, that was great. When they go into, they're like, oh, I just need to check catering for a sec. Getting a bit hungry after my match. And who do they see but good old Hams? She's in there, she's like, she's got massive pile of food on her plate. She's packing it all on there. There's nothing left for Shotzi to eat. And she's like, what? Who is this? What's going on? She taps Hams on the shoulder. She's like, excuse me. She's like, And then, obviously, she's holding her stuffed pig, Goku. And she's like, excuse me, can we have some of that? And Hams is like, no. And Shotzi's like, alright, chill. Like, I was just asking. She's like, no, you can't. My food, mine. And then Morgan Daniels comes and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry about Hams. But she doesn't know what she's really doing. This is her first date here on SmackDown. Because you see, NXT was brought here because of Survivor Series and all that, and she doesn't really know what to do. She knows food and knows how to eat. And Shotzi's like, well, you better get her out of my face and out of my locker room. And she's like, well, you don't have to be so rude about it. And then smack, the plate goes on the floor. And Ham starts screaming and tries to fight Shotzi. And she's like, oh, sorry. So Ham's doing what she does best in her first challenge run segment. First of many. She's eating a lot of food. And that's annoyed Shotzi and Ember, apparently. Shotzi specifically. 82 for his main event. I'm glad that did alright because I took a risk putting it on last. But I figured it would do okay because Becky's in it. Becky, Kaylee Ray, and Nikki Cross defeat Indy, Mickey, and Dana. Becky submits Dana with a disarmer in 12 minutes and 22 seconds. Sasha was on commentary, not doing much, just sitting there. The title and a crown and a scepter and shit. 63 for Kaylee Cross. Nikki Cross gets a 63. 71 for Kaylee Ray, 92 for Becky, 48 for Dana, 69 nice for Mickey, and a 60 for Indy. And Becky and her gals get the dub. And then Sasha gets off commentary, boom, attacks Becky from behind, and starts fighting her and shit. And they get into a brawl, when who comes out but NXT Women's Champion Emma and her right-hand woman, Persia Pirotta. And she's like, ladies, enough of the fighting. Like, I know that the chance to wrestle me at Survivor Series is just too much to contain yourselves, but listen here, nobody cares about any of this. Nobody cares about the women's revolution that you claim you started by being in NXT. Nobody cares who the top dog of the women's division is, because let me get one thing straight. It's neither of you two. Before there was a women's revolution with a trademark next to it, before there was a shiny new women's championship up here on Raw and SmackDown, before there was a boss, before there was the man, long before there was the man, before there was even the Irish Lass Kicker, there was Paige and Emma, who put women's wrestling on this company on the map that nobody seems to recognize, because it's not as marketable as, the 4 horsewomen. So, you two can argue amongst yourself about who you think the top dog in this division is, but it's always been me. It will continue to be me. It's all about me. And at Survivor Series, you two are going to learn the hard way that while I may have come and gone and come back, there's a reason why I'm still champion. And that's because I'm better than both of you. There would be no Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch without me. And I expect respect come Survivor Series. No. I know I brought Persia out here with me, but don't worry, we're not here to fight. Just to remind you of where you've come from. Because you have a lot to thank me for, girls. And I'll accept the thank you in the ring at Survivor Series when I embarrass you both. Because I refuse to be a name lost to history. You've got your 4 horsewomen, you've got your Paige, you've got your Asuka, you've even got your Shayna Baszler, your Io Shirai, your Rhea Ripley. No! You have Emma. Emma was here first. And Emma will be here at Survivor Series, and she's gonna prove to the world that she wasn't in the right place at the right time for that match with Paige. She was the 50% of the reason why we're here today, why we're in this main event spot. And there's nothing you two can do about it. Man, Queen, and me. 90. That's pretty good. 82 rated main event, nice. 100 rated main event segment, nice. Chris Paul in 3 regions. What matters more than this, though, is what you thought of the show. NXT really made a statement tonight, and they're officially well in this now. And yeah, we got our first ever DKE segment of Challenge Run. And yeah, we'll see you next time for Raw. See you then.